The Faculty of Wonderment and affiliated station TFOW Studio Moment presents a dark evening tale for the unusually strange. This evening's creation, The Dark Side of Benjamin Grime. Narrated by yours quite darkly, Sinister Macabre, with Peter James Billing, Michael McMaster, Ed Hoof, and Blair Gagne-Vaz.
For years, I've had certain life-altering encounters that until now have made me wonder if it was my late mother and father keeping me alive to better a life they once had. Until now, I thought of them benevolently as angels of mercy to beam angelic light into the driver's eyes so their vehicle veers away from me, from taking my life. Until now. Yet it occurred to me that this happens to many, not just me. For there are many angels and lives to save. Though my thoughts, as of late, have changed to a far more sinister line of thinking. A thinking forced upon me, taunted by those in my life. A thought of what if that car so dangerously close to ending my life and taking the warm pulse from my veins was meant to end it. But it didn't. For there are angels on both sides battling to prolong our lives, for the grim or for the great. The question is then, which angel spared me? Or how such sunny days can rain with cold blood, and a storm can ease my thoughts? Or how moments so perfect in every nuance are sprinkled with a pinch of rage, while in the very small spaces of my mind that perfect swells with perverse possibilities counter to the world balance I so dearly strive for.
Dark. Benjamin Grime was nothing more than that. As night finds comfort in the darkness, a pulse in the void of shadowy corners, so did Benjamin find meaning behind every vulnerable trait a new victim uttered. It was that look of fear when they finally realize they are the prey. A look which brought color to Benjamin Grime's morbid nights, where each suspended moment as he stalked muted all sounds, motions ceased, as eyes shift in realization that everything before was a poetic prelude, just a well-mapped-out answer patterned to a question they never knew they were answering. But this was delicious to Benjamin, even if he wished for this to all wash away in a late-night torrential downpour as rain washed his blood-stained hands clean. Even if not dirtied yet, he saw them as red, deepened red. But he begged for these thoughts of rage to stop, for a small side of good needed Benjamin to appear somewhat normal in social settings, safe, in a word, safe until his dark side struck. Oh, but don't worry yourself. No one ever knows, no one ever does, but a few ravens on high, a couple of odd, hungry rats, or poor, homeless souls who are too beaten down by life to care. Benjamin Grime was Dark's very messenger, and before us now is that messenger, Within the very confining, smoke-gray glass window panes that framed the office tower where he was tucked away in its basement, 39 floors below the self-proclaimed literary brilliance of Wenstel Stripe, his employer. An arrogant, newly educated wordsmith with just enough of a condescending tone to set Benjamin reeling into madness, with just enough editorial power to erase Benjamin from any book-selling hopes as editor-in-chief of Ellipsis WordPress. Wenstel didn't give a sniff about writers' hopes. He was surgical, pragmatic, and ruthless in a quest for the best stories. As Benjamin walks the hallway leading to Wenstel's office, we hear,
The way he talks to others. To me. He can't talk to me like that. I'm more than what he thinks I am.
Wenstel was this successful nothing Benjamin could never be, and that ate away at his nerves, gnawing them to the bone. But is it that simple? A man slighted in life, and then the gatekeeping of pathology opens up inward to create a seething maniac? Someone who simply doesn't take care of business at that time, holding it long enough to feel it pound inside like a cold fish pounded to death once caught aboard a sea vessel, guts beginning to seep out as it begins breathing, beating, living a life under the skin of hidden humiliation. Then explodes, to leave behind an evil voice with no parameters, rewriting what's held inside, written like a demonic bellhop knocking on hell's door.
Hey, Wenstel. I didn't think your door would be so wide open. Wenstel? You called me up here for something?
Please, just give me a little time.
Was in a writing flow and I didn't want to interrupt you, but I'm happy to help.
Can you just...
I just wanted to ask you...
Really, just a moment.
Stopped again. Muted words by the man who was used to tearing them from his manuscript pages. No rejection letter this time, but a hand held up firmly to shut Benjamin up.
Pathetic. You are just... pathetic, really.
Who's pathetic?
The email is officially sent out. This writer, who can't write or even string coherent magnet words on a refrigerator properly, Benjamin, that's who's pathetic.
Oh, okay. Well, wait. That's not very nice, Wenstel. Like, what about give the author a chance, or maybe just give him a break?
Author? Really? You think this guy's an... No, not even close. The only break he'll merit is 15-minute snoozes in our basement mailroom licking stamps. An outgoing mail. Author. Not backed by my award-winning company. People need to realize this is a professional publishing house. A business, not a search for community writing talent. I don't do congratulatory handouts for mediocrity.
I just think it's not...
Benjamin felt confused. He'd plotted many times to cut Wenstel's life short so he, too, would know what it was like crashing to a halt. And now Benjamin stands in the very office where his manuscripts were heaved to a cold, emotionless floor, and many never even passed Wenstel's doorway. Then he remembered that this upstart had no idea of the surfacing emotions of deep hate, as he said to himself.
What does he know about writing? Like what? Another hopeful tossed away like an unwanted side dish, and he's an expert in judgment, half a year out of college, in charge of a major book company, so bloody subjective, so high and mighty,
So as in what? That was a long pause.
What do you mean?
Wasn't sure if you were okay. You were standing there vacant for about 20 seconds, staring into space, talking about sticks and stones. Look, whatever. Got stuff to do, and I thought you'd be up here sooner. I called you up, Benjamin, to discuss your role here at Ellipsis, to give you the new directive sent from our overseas parent company, Talon. Moving forward...
Why? Well, what's up?
As I was saying, Benjamin, before I discuss your efforts here over the last, 4 years, I need your help to move this wonderful old typewriter given to me.
8 years. I've worked here for 8 productive years and done everything asked. Became even a better writer. Actually, you have no idea how long I've been here because you only have been here like a year and a couple of...
1 year, 8 months actually, as I was saying. You have to let me finish before you start flitting about with your random meanderings. Again, I need help lifting this antique typewriter to my SUV, as no one seems to be working this weekend except me. Well, and you, I guess, but that's one reason you're here.
Typewriter? You called me up here from my work area. Wait. On my weekend and my overtime to move... Look, I'm appreciative of my job and I'm not complaining, so just don't misread what I'm saying.
Yes, to move this. Look, you need to listen, and I'm not sure if you can see my bandaged arm from the doorway there, Benjamin.
I see it clearly, Wenstel. What's with the sling on your arm?
What's with... For your own edification, Benjamin, I had an automobile accident last week which totaled my SUV. Didn't you read about it in the company blog? Many employees were really concerned about me.
Benjamin stepped in closer to his employer to get a look at the typewriter that he now wanted to bash over Wenstel's head. Yet upon closer inspection was a piece of paper with red pen marks pinned under it. He could read the note by squinting. Break news to Grimes about his term... The last word was missing, cut short as he looked up quickly to blurt,
I didn't see it. The accident. Or read about it, I meant. But I get it. You can't lift it to your car, so... Yes, I'll help. I still want to know what the point is about my efforts on Ellipsis. It sounds like something I should know, maybe before we go to your car.
SUV, not a car, it's an SUV. A top-of-the-line Land Rover, in fact. I earned it, Benjamin, and others' conversations can wait. Honestly, I get a little perturbed sometimes, and I should calm myself. A lot of stress on my plate these days, jabbing at me. Away from all that, and on a lighter note, I've never seen such an intense writer as you, Benjamin, scribbling and jotting, writing in every corridor of this tower, always with your work done magnificently fast. At least some of the patrons at Paragraph 5 Coffee joke about this. I don't know. Maybe you're destined to get published. Maybe not by Ellipsis, but who knows? Strangeness amid the full October moon.
Benjamin's eyes could not avert from the red ink-stained paper that was smeared, ink bleeding slightly from Wenstel's coffee, as he adjusted his focus to hear Wenstel's plea for civility on his terms.
All nice to say, Wenstel, but really, who needs a cut-and-paste paper throwaway operation anyways? You turned Shakespeare away, packing up his quill, citing, too much cryptic, me think. I mean, in my opinion only.
Paperback throwaway? You mean the second largest and most read company of throwaway pulp publication? The major operation? We're always looking for real writers. I even get a glimpse of hopefuls written under my typewriter.
Exactly. That's a hell of a lot of power over words. You get tired of being the overlord writers ever? I mean, it's not like you've been here for 30 years of experience. Geez, even 2. I mean, I heard 44. You threw 44 back in the waters while you're still quite a fresh catch in the sea of muddied...
Hopefuls, Benjamin?
Pulpy weeds, huh?
Hopefuls, as in hope. You don't listen, do you?
I just... The list. I like to look at the list if I could.
I'm taking care of that list, thank you. Not really a just way to oversee Ellipsis. If you see into the pulpy weeds, eh? Maybe this may perk up your ears, Benjamin. You know when you first meet that someone for the first time, that feeling, that gut feeling? Doesn't it tell you something, Benjamin? Either this person is a casual, hi, how are you? Or perhaps a good conversation to pursue, or to be absolutely, unequivocally avoided altogether. Wasted time that should be cast away. Out. That's what it is. The same can be said of a first read, I just know good. I just know talent immersed in words. Experience? Well, let's just say it's a way of saying, I'm too old, but hey, look at all that experience. Nah. I'll take guts and literary talent first. I'll take story, good storytelling, not blurted words out of writers attempting to be an author who doesn't listen at all at how a story needs to be told.
You've torn out the heart of the wrong chapter sometimes, I feel, Wenstel.
I feel. Feelings are the right choice. Anyways, why are we here again? Oh, yeah.
Sticks and stones may break my...
Huh?
You know, yard work at home when I'm finished with you. And feelings? You spoke about gut feelings a moment ago.
Benjamin always thought quickly when the swelling cramped his brain, when it built up to excruciating pain. All these aching questions, just as the moon remained Benjamin's only true friend, cycling his next phases as a pocket watch beats through the seconds of time, he finally had an answer inside.
Tick, tock, tick. Observe. Talk, tick. Retain. Tick, tock. Strike.
Wenstel, I've been thinking.
And before that occurs, let's lug this typewriter down.
As a match strikes to flame, with only a sulfuric mist as evidence.
Seriously, I've got so much work ahead of me here tonight, and this is a good start.
So too would his anger vanish into the night air.
I don't like bothering you from the bottom floor in the...
Dark. Benjamin Grime was dark, all right, but nobody knew it. If only they looked deeply into the...
office. You work there on that little blog. What's the name? Don't tell me.
eyes to see the sinister soul.
Keen into you. That's it.
Behind the dead pupils, masking what wicked may come.
Keys to the right you. As I was saying, Wenstel, when I'm finished with you, there's a pub near Meander Bay, just up the road. All my friends seem to stay there. Would you grab a brew? I don't know. Maybe learn more about the very important position here at WordPress Ellipsis? Hell, I'll even buy you one. Now, that's pretty generous.
Wine. I drink wine.
Red, deep burgundy, Pinot Noir, no doubt.
Very good indeed. But remember, I'm the top-selling crime writer, the same one that needs your strength as my shoulder and arm, and still badly lacerated from my crash.
Wow, what happened?
I just told you a minute ago.
Yeah, I meant what happened, like, how did it happen?
Totaled my SUV, a write-off. And now I have a brand new replacement compliments of insurance parked down in the lot. All of it from having my brakes adjusted and checked prior to the crash. It's just very strange. They seemed off a bit, not right before. As I drove off after the maintenance, they felt better. You know how you can just feel it? It feels right.
Feels right, yes. Oh, I know it well. Go on.
All of a sudden, they cut. And I find myself with my life spared. Regardless, I was fortunate. I didn't get hit by the oncoming car swerving my way. Terrifying as it veered out of my way in a flash, away from me, from taking my life, Benjamin.
Wait. What did you say? A car veered out of your way?
Yes, an older couple. They helped me out of the Land Rover afterwards.
Why? Why would they? Why would they help you?
Because. What's your deal? Really? Not sure where you're going with this. It was nice to have someone help me. I mean, sincerely be there like personal angels. People try to be friends with me here in the literary world, but I know they just want to use me. It's so hard for me to trust. Anyway, I'm moving on here. I'm fine. I'll get the elevator door, Ben. I forgot how heavy these old suckers used to be.
Heavy enough to bash over your bloody head. That's for sure. My parents helped you. They are loyal to me. Why would they help you?
That outburst was not audible. That burst of uncontrollable violent rage was loyal to only Benjamin, as Wenstel, the so smart editor of skilled first read insight, found no read or sign of his disconnected intent. Benjamin shook off the paranoia he blurted, begging it to contain itself. But why Wenstel? Why does he drive the worst out of him? The dank, dark, woefully deep, and pitiful worst.
Watch it, Ben. Try not to drop it. It's very rare. Who knows what famous writer I may summon through the spirited apparitions to write brilliant stories magically by these very keys to page.
Ben, he thought. Everyone calls me Benjamin. He went on ruminating with a slow burn that began to overwhelm him further. He jammed the famous writer's antique past the office door jamb and into the elevator while pushing G with his elbow. Then, taking a deep, cleansing breath.
Ben, how comfortable Wenstel's getting. He's getting weaker. Does the writer need to be famous, Wenstel?
Just make some more interesting story. And I may be the famous writer when I start working those old letter keys one poke at a time.
Elevators. Everyone had their albatross, and elevators were that momentary living coffin Benjamin hated, feared, never to be opened again. The reason of his choice to work near ground level, only braving an ascent to submit manuscripts in person. Now 39 floors to descend before he was free to breathe again. It pushed against his chest as he tried to breathe, and watched the floors diminish, slowly, before, looking down to the dusty floor scuffed by daily business shoes, looking down away from the lights beaming at his eyes, veering them away number by number, lower and lower.
Breathe. Just breathe. 37, 35, breathe. 32. He has enough guts to tell an innocent writer that his paper isn't worth anything. 27, 26, 24. Not strong enough to carry down his own metaphoric instrument. God, I'm gonna choke. 14, 13.
Hey! Yeah, I know, I'm how are you? How are things across the pond, Em? Oh, it is? Well, fantastic. A spot will be available? Yes, very soon. I'm in an elevator. Ellipsis, yes. Not yet. I haven't told him. No, not yet. Soon enough. Okay, sure. I'll definitely keep you informed, as always. Just a sec, Em. Ben, you okay? What the? Yeah, Grime. He's carrying down the typewriter you gave me. I guess it's heavy. Yeah, okay, for sure. Talk later, Em. Great. Yes, okay. Cheers.
Heavy, come on. 12, 11, corporate. What a complete... 10, 9.
The note with my name. These walls are closing on me.
The door better open soon too, or I'm gonna slam this to the ground.
Ah! What was that about?
My leg. I pulled a muscle in my leg, okay?
Jeez, it sounded like it tore it right off. See those poor souls scurry the hell out of here? Jesus.
The weight of this typewriter in the elevator pulling down, I don't know. Nothing, I guess.
As insecurity flowed through Benjamin, just as air travels to the lungs, heavy air crashed to a halt and blocked his air path, as if the last bit of earth was thrown on a premature burial. And now his breathing returned.
Idea here. My SUV is a pretty long hoof. I think they forget who's in charge, so considering those prehistoric calls of pain you belched out earlier, it's easier. Well, I'm cognizant of your parking spot being closer, right? So maybe we can...
You know where I park. You know... I thought all of the deadlines and the work here, your focus. I assume your focus was on the world of success, not meaningless workers' parking spots.
Remember Crime Writer? Award-winning crime suspense writer? I know everything that happens. I just file it away for story and plot devices, alibis, scene development, the usual. So let's drop this beast off in your car instead, then come back for mine after wine, or beer in your case. So blue collar, beer.
Benjamin agreed with a wry smirk, for this was becoming too easy for him now.
You have a lot to do as well, I think. So I can thank you enough for ripping apart your day for me, Mr. Grime. Funny, I just realized what a great last name you have for an antagonist. Quite a grim, murderous name. Literally speaking, of course.
It has an old Danish and Swedish origins, and in fact it means grim. Very good catch.
Benjamin shook his head by the word choices of his soon-to-be knifed editor, dizzy on whether he did this on purpose to upset or... But he remembered what he wanted to do, had to do, to silence him. It made him doubt his resolve. There was no nice in his thoughts. He wanted no part of nice. Reaching to the back floor to calm himself, knowing his fish-gutting knife was stored ready for this pathological pantomime.
My knife. My gutting knife. I thought I left it in the back seat with the lime. Where is it?
The typing instrument got him into his car. Drinks away from the office tower would be used to relax him further, to get him to trust, not to worry.
My letter opener. I thought it was in my jacket. It was right here in my jacket pocket. Where I placed it.
You lose something, Ben.
Benjamin reached deep into his inside jacket pocket, only to be picked by a sharp...
Oh, your keys. You should have told me. I can't keep boasting about my deductive reasoning as it is high level right now. I would have helped.
But I found them in my jacket. Where are you gonna go? Look there? Is that a cheesy plot device, Mr. Crime Writer? Keys and jacket, no weapon. Wow.
You never know what's next, do you? Just love that genre.
Both joked mischievously. However, the antagonist had an exact idea where he'd left the letter knife. The sharp object that jabbed Benjamin's hand began to seep, staining his jacket pocket with red ink. Same ink as the termination note on Wenstel's desk.
The glove box, maybe. I remember, damn it, remember. Gotta be there. Why would I leave it there?
You realize you said that aloud. What were you looking for now? You found your keys.
No, you silly, useless... I'm just looking for something to give you. You always edit my thoughts, reject my stories. I have something here. Wherever the hell it is. You're not going to reject this when I find it.
You gotta mean this. This sharp letter opener here? Because it's really good to open up your talented neck. You were not rejected, Benjamin Grime. You were plagiarized. And for God's sake, sorry. I bet that doesn't feel good. The blood pulse spitting out of your neck. I mean, oh, how that sounds on page. And if you read my stories, you can even read, you would find your fine artistic work with my name on the cover.
I was supposed to kill you in this
story. This is just another case of how you would screw something up. God, man, you're good, but you have a 2-cent brain that used to be held up by whatever neck is left. You got like that pounding fish you mentioned. This is your final edit, but don't you worry, because no one ever does that for a few ravens on a high and a couple old...
Benjamin Grime was nothing more than a figment of a frustrated writer's mind. There was no Benjamin Grime, only a thought of him, an alter ego that could do things Richmond Shelby wished he could do. All of this a daydream in a large glass-framed office he was about to leave. All this locked away in a fleeting moment, allowed to spring free for a flashing second, as the writer, Richmond Shelby, would leave dejected again at the hands of another editor. Another no. another dead end. Another way to tell him he was not good enough, as the Talon Publishing Company's editor, Emily Huff, dug her claws in deep. Blood was still freshly dripping off him, and yet too soon for his inky sword to make Emily Huff die of 1,000 different deaths, one daggered word at a time. That is where Benjamin Grime takes over, and imagination follows.
Sticks and stones.
Did you say something, Mr. Shelby?
She has no idea how much her words weigh.
I'm not really sure what you mean, Mr. Shelby.
Dark. Richard Shelby was much, much more than that, as he sauntered away, clenching a sharp object in his jacket pocket, ready for yet another story.